Hello, hello, and hello. Happy Wednesday. So give me a second and let me get all of the things I'm supposed to be getting up. How's everybody doing? Let me know in comments as you come on. Let me know how everybody is doing. So one week off and I'm a little computer challenged right now. Just want to make sure that I am broadcasting live in the group. Sure I am there. Not so. Give me 1 minute. How's everybody doing? Let me know in the comments. What are you guys drinking and where are you watching from? Let me know. As I get my whole life together this afternoon. Evening. It's not even afternoon, it's evening time. All right, there we go. Go. All right, so hopefully you guys can see me inside of the group now. And we're good. All right, let me see where we are in comments. What are you guys drinking? All right, we are drinking water. So am I. And my travel is my passion cup. And I am in Georgia. So, Missouri, water in Center City. Hello, Angel. Nice to have you on. Nice to have you on, Yolanda. Excited to be working with you, Yolanda. Thanks for joining. We will actually be in the inner circle tomorrow. So, do not forget to join in there tomorrow, Yolanda. Hey, Constance, how are you? Red wine, nice to see you. I miss you. Hey, Z, looking forward to Cancun. Eunice, nice to have you. Shantae, nice to have you ladies. All right, so we've got people from the East Coast. We have the middle of the state. And I don't think we have anybody Pacific. Who we say specific, like I remember like I'm two. But we missed last week because I double booked myself. We moved our new live time back to Wednesday, and I forgot that we had graduation. So I had to skip last week, but we had an amazing graduation check in with our most recent students. So that was fun. Sorry to have missed last week. And I'm still on the fence when we're in our fam trip if I'm going to do a live. But what I probably should do is do like a live with all the agents so we can give you a rundown of how the fan trip is going by Wednesday. So I think that's what we will do. I just made an executive decision. So, ladies, I am super excited to be here with you all on this Wednesday night, back on our old time coming to you. And I haven't done the type of live that we're going to do today in a long, long time. So let me do this before I forget. I'm going to grab this link and I'm going to post this link inside of the chat so that you guys have it, because we are going to be going over this in our training tonight. So hold on, I'm a little challenged. So let me just get it, let me get all my life together. All right, I'm gonna put it here in this post. And I don't think that Facebook well, I don't know if it will show up on Facebook. Did you guys get the post? It's kind of a long post and I couldn't make it friendly. Oh, it does look like it showed up. Let me know that you guys, because this is the document that we're going to be going over. So while everybody is joining, all right, so perfect. So while everybody's joining, I got a few questions for you all. So ones and zeros. So get your fingers, let your fingers do the walking, because I'm going to ask you. All right. So who out there has a core offer? And if you don't know what a core offer is, it is an offer that is your main thing that you make money with, and don't tell me travel. So if you have a core offer type 1, if you do not have a core offer type 0, and don't tell me travel is your core offer, I'm talking about, like, that you want to sell Cancun, Mexico, and you want to sell the Palace Resorts, and that's your main moneymaker for your travel business. If you do not have a core offer type 0, if you have a core offer type 1, and so it doesn't mean that if you have a core offer that you can't sell anything else, but you have a consistent way that people raise their hand. Type 1 if that's you, type a 0 if that is not you. All right, if you are just joining, I posted a link earlier, so scroll up and get that link, because we're going to be going over that in just a few minutes. All right, I just sell what people ask for, and that's common. I know that a lot of you do that. You're waiting for the phone to ring. And unfortunately, waiting for the phone to ring doesn't always pay the bills. And so, all right, question number 2 is, okay, so most of you all said 0, so I anticipate this is also going to be a no, but let me ask it anyway. Do you have a way, so even if you don't have an offer, I want you to type in a 1 if this is yes, a 0 if this is no. Do you have a way to market your offers and get people to buy and sell them? Do you have a way to market and get people to buy and sell your offer? So maybe you don't have a core offer, but I assume you're in business for profit and you are making offers. Do you have a way to market so that people can buy your offers and sell it? A consistent way to market your offer so that they get sold out and purchased. Now, you make an offer and you just throw it out there and you don't get any buyers, type a 0. Okay. If you have a consistent way that you get people, I'm dropping Cancun and people are waiting and they're going to buy it up, then type a 1. If you do not have a way to get people to consistently buy from you when you drop an offer, then type a 0. All right. Last and final question tonight is, do you have goals? Type a 1 if yes, you have goals. And I don't mean like, I just want to make some sales. I just want to, like, if you don't have any goals, type a 0. But if you have specific goals that identify that, yes, I got 4 offers, I want to drop this year and I want to make X number of dollars, type a 1. If the answer is 0, that's okay as well. All right. So for many of you, this conversation is exactly for you, because there's a lot of 0s on the table. But I do see a lot of 1s on the table. But if you typed a 0 and you also typed a 1, it's sort of a trick question. Like, how are you hitting your goals? Like, if you don't have offers and you don't have a way to market them, how are you hitting your goals? So I didn't ask you if you were hitting your goals. I asked if you had goals. So if you have goals, we need to have a way for you to meet your goals. Like, is that what you guys came here for tonight? Like, a way to hit your goals? Because I have goals. I am type A. Like, I don't know, raise your hand if you're type A. Like, type a 1 if you're type A. Like, you've got to have it all written out and you got to know what it is that you're doing. And then you just love to execute the plan. Type of 1, let me just see how many people I have on the line that are like me. I am super type A. So what does that mean? I have a journal. I have many journals, but this is my journal. This is my journal. I write in this journal every single day. I'm giving you a little bit of insight to me. Every single day, I write what I'm grateful for. I'm going to give you 2 book drops that are my 2 go-to books right now. I just finished this last month, not April, but in March, because I started it, and it's called The 12-Week Year. I don't know who the author is. I'm going to see if I can see it on my Kindle really quick. But this book has like totally got me back on track on my type A personality. Hold on, I'm going to my Kindle right now and see if I can get you the name of this book that is 12-Week Year, and it's by Brian Moran. Love this book. I will do a decompress of this book after the conclusion of my 12 weeks. I'm in week 5 of my 12 weeks and love it. And another book I recommend for you all by my favorite author, Daniel Priestley, Oversubscribed. Second favorite book. Now, if you want to start to hit your goals, you need to be what he describes as oversubscribed. And this is sort of the inspiration for the training tonight, is the concept of being oversubscribed. If you don't have a way to market your offers and you don't have a way for people to raise their hand to buy, it's going to be very difficult for you to hit your goals, even if you have them. So before I jump in, there are so many new faces and you do not know who I am. My name is Sunday Gardner, online travel boss, and I come to you every week, sans last week because of graduation, talking all things launching and operating a successful and profitable travel business. And so the second book is called Oversubscribed by Daniel Priestley. Jalen, if you're out there, if you could write that, it's Daniel Priestley, Oversubscribed, and the first one is 12-Week Year. By Brian Moran, it looks like is his name. Brian P. Moran, Moran. All right, so Sunday Gardner, and I come to you every week. So if you are new to me, thank you for joining me and taking this risk to come out here and listen to me. Now, there are a lot of familiar names that I see out there. And so, ladies, it's great to see your names and see you guys out there tonight. So we're going to jump right in. But before we jump in, I've introduced myself. I want to tell you a story of like how I became where offers is sort of near and dear to my heart. When I started in the travel business, and I have now been in the business since 2016. It's been a while. For 2018 as a business coach for the travel professional, but 2016. And it seems like yesterday, but when I started in this business, I was very much like you all. I didn't have a core offer. I didn't have an offer. I was super excited about getting my superpower. And I was like, I'm going to sell packages. I'm just going to throw them out. And I was like, who was the vendor that I was going to back then? It wasn't Vacation Express. It was another one like Vacation Express. I can't even remember the vendor. And I was like, so I'd get their email every day because it seems like all of the vendors send out like emails every single day. And I'd be like, okay, so this is on special. Like Hutakan is on special. Okay, well, this is on special. And then I would just start throwing up packages on my personal page. And I was like, I've got this, and let me know if you want to go here. And then I would put together a flyer. And then I was like, oh, well, that didn't work. So I was like, I'm going to do girl packages. And actually the first girl package I put together just popped up on my timeline the other day. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna do girl trips because I know you can make a lot of money doing group trips. So I'm gonna start organizing girl trips. And let me tell you, it was a monumental failure. I mean, I don't know if that's what you guys are doing, but for me, it was a monumental failure. I didn't get any sales. I didn't get any, I got like a lot of crickets. Like nobody really responded. And I was sort of like, this is bullshit. Like, why isn't it working? Like, travel is awesome. And I want to go on these trips and I want you to go on these trips with me, girlfriends. So let's go. And it didn't work. And like, I didn't have anything. I didn't have any sales. I didn't have anything. I wasn't traveling. It was really very frustrating. So ladies, let me know in the comments, is that what you guys have experienced for the ones who have like a zero and they don't have offers and you don't have a way to market? Is that something similar to you? So, I mean, I did that for a while. And then I was like, okay, I'm too busy for this. I just sort of like dropped the travel business and I'm like, I'm not going to do this anymore. I don't have time. I'm too busy building my other empire. So I stopped even doing it because I was like, I've got other things to do that I know are going to work. So when I came back to travel, I was like, okay, well, that idea didn't work. I'm going to have to come up with something else. So what I ultimately did is I said, I need to start. I need to do what I do best, which is I know how to get leads, and I need to specialize. I need to specialize in a particular area, and I need to then create offers around what people want. But that was still difficult because it was hard for me to transition from like what I had known as a coach into travel. I was like, how do I do that? Like, what do I do? And so what I did is I created a specialty around what I like, and I focused on my tribe. I focused on growing my tribe, and then I focused on creating offers for my tribe. Does that make sense? And so, what we're going to, I've done already several trainings this series because it's actually transcended a month. We started in March, and pretty much the whole month of April, I've been talking about offers. So, there's some additional training if you missed that training. What I'm going to talk about today is okay, you know that you need an offer, and maybe you guys don't. So, let me give you a really recap. So, with me and my story, I was throwing random package out there. I wasn't really catering to a market. I was hoping that the packages that I created were going to somehow stick with the people that were on my personal page, and they did not. And so some of you guys have said that's also happening to you, right? So what happens is you think, oh, well, I just need to do more packages, or maybe it's not the right type of package. So you sort of go into this sort of, cycle of, like researching, posting, researching, posting, researching, posting, and then that doesn't get you sales. And literally what I'm suggesting to you, if you keep up that cycle, it's just going to burn you out because by virtue of you creating, and it doesn't matter what the price point is. It's not that they're too expensive or they're too cheap. It's the fact that you don't have an audience that wants what you are selling. And so your focus should not be so much on, I need to create a new offer. It should be focusing on creating an audience that wants to hear from you, that once you drop something, they'll be excited about that. Does that make sense? Let me know in the comments. So what I'm going to do is talk to you today about the components of a core offer. We're not going to really focus today on niche and how to identify a specialty, but what I will tell you where I had the turning point was when I created a niche for myself and specialized in the person. And so that is what I teach my students. That is what you will forever and always hear me say is that you need to focus on the person. So if you want to sell random packages, that's okay, but you need a damn good big audience of people that love you. So when you drop some random packages, they'll be ready to buy. So it's not necessarily the packages, it's the fact that you don't have an audience. But so I think everybody's getting that. Everybody's saying that makes sense. So what we're going to talk about today is once you get an audience, let's say you may even have an audience, right? What does the core offer look like? And how do you build that? And what is it, right? And so literally for the travel agents, many people are like, well, I don't want to just sell Mexico. Well, why not? And I say that not lightly, but I say, when it comes to suppliers reward you for being loyal. So maybe you don't want to sell Mexico, but if you're new to this business, you at least need to have 3, maximum, maybe 5, but just a small set of choice suppliers that you work with. Now, I know a lot of people, they work with tour companies like Vacation Express. They'll work with, Delta Vacations, American Airlines, and they don't have a particular brand that they're aligned to. And although I think the tour operators are great for newbies, and I think they're great, I really think that you should have a collection of choice resort suppliers or brands that you work with, because again, the brands reward you for loyalty, right? You get points, you get awards, you get accolades when you use a brand consistently, right? So again, it's not a conversation on supplier choice, but when it comes to a core offer, it's really about making that line in the sand about who your choice suppliers are going to be, right? even if it's not a destination, it should be around what is it that you are going to offer your clients and you want to be the main way that you make money. Now, the great thing about us is that it doesn't have to be, your core offer doesn't have to be a package. Your core offer could be your services, right? Like, so I want you to think about it. Your core offering and what your main moneymaker can be your services. That could also be your core offer. So I want you guys to really think a little bit outside of the box, right? Core offer is your decision on purpose to make money in a particular area of your business. Does that make sense? Like, you open your eyes today and you say, you know what? She's right. Sunday's right. I want to start selling fill in the blank. And that is what your focus is on. It's focusing on clients. It's focusing on your marketing. It's focusing how you build your community. And that is what you will sell, right? Does not mean that's the only thing that you will sell. But again, it's about focus. I want you to, what I want you guys to do, and I want everybody to write this down, is focus, right? The reason why so many businesses, even our business, but so many businesses are not successful and don't hit their goals is because they're all over the place. They're like, oh, I want to do this. Let me try this. Let me try this. Let me try this. So you never give the one thing that you should be focused on enough time to actually see success, because it takes time, right? You're not going to make six figures in this business tomorrow, right? I mean, and if you do, it's still going to take time for you to build an audience, sell the package, and then deliver it. And then, do you know what I mean? Like, so nothing is going to be like that. So if you really want to see success, I want everybody to write down focus, right? Focus on a client, focus on who you get out of town, focus on what you want to sell. Focus, focus, focus. That's the key word for today, is like focus. Like, somebody type that down, focus. That is what we all need in our business. And listen, I can tell you a story about my lack of focus as well, right? I mean, I am an entrepreneur, and every one of you ladies who are on today, men, if there are any men are out there too, you guys are entrepreneurs. And so what does that mean? I think the real definition of an entrepreneur is you just have shiny object syndrome, because your brain never stops. So you're like, you know what? I could sell this. Oh, I could sell this. Oh, I could do this. Oh, I could do this. And again, you never let your thoughts, your products, your ideas marinate and be in place long enough to see success. So you chasing after all these different things is a diversion of your time. It's a diversion of your money. It's a diversion of your effort. And all of that is a recipe for disaster. And I personally just had to have that same come to Jesus meeting with myself this year, right? Instead of focusing, because I want to do so much. I literally, my brain does not stop. So I know you, and then we've got all these exciting things. Like, I actually literally have to stop looking at suppliers' emails, because they get me so excited when I see this new trip. I'm like, I want to sell this. I want to go here. I want to go here. I want to go here. And I can never get it. I can never build it up. I can never build the momentum necessary to be able to sell it. So that is the lesson. That is the key word for you guys today, is focus, is that we need to create offers that are built around one theme. Again, it can be multiple destinations. So, for example, we're doing a fam trip to the Palace Resort in Cancun in 2 weeks, and they support multiple destinations. They have multiple brands in their suite of properties, right? But if you decide that that's your brand, you're going to have a variety of things, of properties to select from, a variety of destinations. But I'm not going to hop all over the place with dealing with vendor A, B, C, D, E, F, G, right? Get out of the business of trying to be the cheapest provider. Be the best provider for your clients. So, again, I am not slamming any particular tour operator and saying you shouldn't do this or you shouldn't do that. But if you really want to build a business that you're going to see six figures in, you need to establish roots with the suppliers. You need to establish roots with your clients, and then create amazing experiences. Create an amazing experience with your supplier and create an amazing experience with your client, right? Or get an amazing connection with your supplier, and then create amazing experiences for your clients. All right. You guys, does that make sense? You guys let me know in the comments. I am a heart lover, so let me know. Shit, I left my cup in the other room. So I just had my cup. Where is it? I was hiding under my paper. It's like I just showed you guys my cup. All right. Yes. So shiny object syndrome. That is totally me. All right. So let's get to the planner. So let me just give you a little bit of heads up about how this planner works. So you guys all have access to it. I've given you the link to it. And this planner is really around you understanding what you need to do to come up with a core offer. Again, I'm not arguing with you on do you feel like you should have a core offer. This really is about how do you create a core offer that makes sense for you. So let me share my screen. I'm doing fancy stuff today, so this is the first time I've done this, like I said, in a long time. So, here's the cover. Pretty simple. I'm going to skip over the introduction and let you guys look at that. And so hopefully you guys can see this. It looks kind of small. I'm so blind. I'm like, hold on. Let me see if I can make this bigger. It is kind of small. Does it look small to you guys? Maybe I should try and share a different way. Well, you guys have it, so you should have it. So we're on page 3. And I just wanted to let you guys know. So this is called my services and booking framework. There's 4 steps to the services and booking framework. And so what I've done here is it's okay, perfect. All right. What I've done here is I've broken out each step for you guys to actually take a look at each of the steps. So I'm going to go over the questions, give you some thoughts to think about when it comes to filling out the planner and defining your core offer. So again, this is the idea of a core offer is really around you defining it doesn't have to be like, I want to go to Jamaica and that's my core offer. It's really around an experience that you want to sell. You can create multiple of those offers, but what is it that you want to sell? Right? Are you, there was a time that I specialized in, from a supplier, I specialized in cruises. This is pre-COVID. I don't specialize in cruises anymore, but it was cruises. And so my supplier was Royal Caribbean. And so I had planned 4 trips a year, and that is what I was doing. And I sold group trips. And so I had the destination selected, I had the supplier selected, and that's what we're talking about. So does everybody understand the concept of core offer and what you need to do? So my main moneymaker were those trips. I knew the commission I was going to make. I knew how much money I needed to make in order to hit my numbers. That's what I sold, and that's what I focused on, right? Everybody got that? All right, so step 1 is about defining what your offer is. And I can't see these, so it may be good for you guys. So I'm going to have to actually get another screen up because my eyes are bad. I'm totally getting old. My eyes are so bad. I can't see the screen. It's really bad. So hold on, let me open up another screen. It's so funny. I'm gonna have to actually open up the link. Give me a second. I can't see the question. Isn't that sad? I'm getting to the point that I can't even see the screen. All right, this is much bigger for my blind eyes. All right, so step 1 is define your offer. And so the first question is really about what I've been talking about the last couple of minutes, which is who's your client, right? Who is your client? You guys type in the comments. Now, Constance, I know you have a client because we worked on it. We worked on it this year and last year. Who are y'all's clients? Who is your perfect client? Who are they? What do they like? What do they want? That's what question number 2 is about. What do they need or want? So type your perfect client. Let's talk about it. Who is your perfect client? For me, perfect client is retired military, right? Seniors, retired military. I like working with military retired people. Families, right? Well, what's preventing them from getting out of town? Why can't they get themselves out of town? Right? What do they want when they go out of town? Right? That's what question number 2 is who, people who enjoy cruises. That's not very specific, but, let's go with that. People who enjoy cruises. Well, what do they need or want? More cruises, right? Who are the people? right? So you guys need to be really specific. I've done a lot of training on the niche and the client part. So again, I'm not going to focus too much on here, but really I want you to, when you answer these first two questions, really be thinking about who your client is and what do they need or want and what's preventing them from getting out of town, right? And write those down. And the last question on this page is what services will help them before they get out of town, while they're out of town, during while they're out of town, before they book with you, ongoing services. Jot down and brainstorm some of those ideas. Those are all candidates for a core offer, right? Does that make sense? Let me know in the comments, ladies. Right. So the first two questions are really around your people and then how you can help service your people, right? So, all right. Any questions on that one before we go? I only had a few comments on your specialty. So if you guys want any feedback, just let me know because this is the time to do it because I'm here. All right. So then the next page, let me see if I can. This is like a lot I've got going on. Trying to. All right. So the next page is what could your core offer be around this person? So somebody just said that you want people that enjoy cruises, right? So I assume you've got a vendor. Let's say I'm going to go with Royal Caribbean because I know that vendor really well, right? I mean, there's hundreds of cruise lines, right? So who is the cruise line that you're going to work with, right? What type of, there's family cruises, there's adult cruises, there's cruise lines that cater to seniors. So when you say people that like cruises, I can't let it go. I'm like, what kind of people? There are hundreds of cruise lines. Who's your specialty cruise line that you're going to work with? And each of those cruise lines have a particular market that they're going over. River cruises, that's a different market, right? So when on this next page, it's really about like, if you know that you have a destination or a particular type of travel that you want to focus on, what could that core offer be about, right? I'm going to use Palace as an example because again, we're getting ready to go to Palace, right? We're getting ready to do 8 site visits when we go to Palace, and they've got I can't remember how many brands they've got, but I know that they're in Cancun, I know they're in Cabos, I know they're in Jamaica, they're in all these different Caribbean locations, right? So my core offer could be, I know that I'm going to be working with the Palace brand. That's who I want to stick with, and they've got family, adult only, right? They've got high end, middle of the road, right? Maybe is my core offer is I want to do luxury girl trips. And I'm going to do the LeBlanc, right? That's the brand that I want to do a core offer. So I want to do LeBlanc offering in Jamaica, in Cabos, and Cancun, right? That's what my offer includes, right? It's going to include, I'm going to design not only the stays, I'm also going to include a spa package with that, right? So I'm going to work with the hotel on how much credits I can get towards that. And then I'm also going to include excursions, right? So I'm going to work with some vendors to make sure that it's the spa package plus the, maybe a 4-night stay plus this, right? What is your core offer include, right? And if you don't know, this is the time for you to let your fingers do the walking and figure out who you want to work with so that you can create these kind of perks. It's not about getting all the best deals that come through your line, through your literally, I want you to think about the emails that the vendor sends you as ads, right? These should be things that help spark your memory or your mind on what could be for your clients. If you know your client, then you should be able to match that with what you want to do. Does that make sense? Hopefully that does. So your core offer should not just be accommodations and air. What other things can you add on to that core offer? And if you don't know, this is the time to be doing it, like to be investigating. Use a Vacation Express to say, hey, I've never been to Punta Cana. Let me see what they have. Here are the resorts. What can I see? You as a travel agent shouldn't be operating just from cost alone. You should be creating experiences based on desired experience, right? You should be creating offers based on what you want to sell as an experience to your clients and the type of client that you want to work with, what they would want. Does that make sense? So there was somebody earlier who said, I only I only wait for people that come to me, and that's how I sell. And I'm like, well, then how will you ever get to define your like your future if you're waiting for clients to come to you? Right? When I opened up our barber shop, like we knew what our service was. We knew the products that we were going to sell, right? We knew who our vendors were. It's no different. Just because we have access to hundreds and thousands of suppliers doesn't mean that you shouldn't already know what your services are and your products are. You shouldn't just be waiting for the best deal to come up around. And that's where that shiny syndrome comes from, is because you don't have a particular offer that you're doing. All right. So I think I'm off my soapbox there, ladies and gents. So that's what the next question is think about what it is that you want to be selling from a destination, from a supplier, from a inclusive offer, right? In terms of, is it what amenities do they have? What costs additional money? What can you bundle up into that package? Talk to your vendor and your suppliers about that, right? And then what's not included. So what do you like? I don't like messing with people's air. Like, unless it's a fit trip, when it's a group trip, I don't normally deal with air. I just don't. Some people are okay with doing group contracts for air, and that's okay. But what doesn't your trip include? If it doesn't include a specific, be super clear about that. Don't be ambiguous about that. Be clear about what your trip does not include, right? Be super clear about what it doesn't include and what the boundaries are. If you don't know what not to include, this is the time to do that research and to figure that out. This is the time to see like what your competitors are doing. What, like, if you specialize in cruises and maybe you deal with, I had a client who dealt with blended family cruises, right? I think Z, you're out there, you do family cruises. And so, like, what are your competitors doing? Like, when you go to their site, what kind of cruises are they offering? What's included in their cruise? Are they doing trips on the side? Are they doing them before the cruise or after the cruise? Are they just doing the base cruise? All of that. That's what you need to do. And then the other thing on this page that you really need to consider is what additional value can you add to your offer? And so, for example, like what I mean by value is you can add on and mark up the price of your packages, not just solely based on the fact is like I have a cruise, well, I can't mark it up because if they see that, they're not gonna, and I know a lot of people are concerned about, like, let me give you an example. If a cruise is $1,000 and you really want to be making, $2,000 on a cruise, well, and let's say your commission is 300, but you really want to be making 500 to 600 on commission. Cruise line's only going to give you 300. What else can you add to the package that's going to create value, that's going to warrant you getting that additional $300, right? What is it that you can do? Can you add on a trip on the front end of it, right? Can you add on services on the front of it, on the front end of it, right? Are you doing any swag that's going to make it more valuable, right? What additional value can you add to your packages? What you need to make sure as a travel professional that you are doing is you're not creating packages that can be found on Expedia.com. Does that make sense? Like, no one can get my stuff directly from the vendor because I design unique experiences based on me, like, and based on what our agency does. Does that make sense? Let me know in the comments. Like, how do you guys feel about that? I'm going to pause because I'm a talker and I will go on and not get any feedback. Like, how do you guys feel about this? I think we're on page 3 right now. How do you guys feel about that? Like, what kind of offers are you guys coming up with? Like, have you guys thought about what your offers are and what are some of the things that you want to sell and some additional value that you could do? I'm going to give you an example. Many years ago, when I did one of my first referrals, I got referred to by a client. She wanted to go to Hawaii. It was her anniversary trip for her and her husband, or a birthday trip. I can't remember. It was a celebratory trip for anniversary or a birthday. I think it may be a combo of two. And so I put together this package, and it was Hawaii. And I knew what their budget was, and so, but I went a little bit. The quote that I did was a little bit over, but the package that I put together, it was the accommodations, Hawaii wasn't all inclusive, but I planned a anniversary dinner for them. I also made sure they had leis when they came off the plane, right? They had a custom, they had a private transfer to and from the hotel, and then I did something else special, right? And I had never been to Hawaii, but when I designed that package, it took me a while because I was looking at like what was standard, and I wanted to make sure that it was above and beyond standard. Like I didn't want it to be what they could find on Expedia. That that's the way that I design. Same thing for you all. So when it comes to this core offer that you're creating, make sure that you have what your business does as a standard, as a value add, right? From a service perspective, a product perspective, and then what else can you include in your item? Again, if you don't know, this is the time for you to be researching. This is the time right now for you to be defining what you want to make money at and how you are going to sell that. Not, and this is not about how you sell, it is about what you will be selling and what is included in the sale of that thing that you've done. Does that make sense? All right, so some people have given some feedback. Adding to and from transportation with spa and excursion credits. To where, Shantae? Like to where and with whom? Like what is it that you want to include? Because just that alone, those would be add-ons. Those would be great value add items that you could add on. I mean, like it was, she said after the trip to this Hawaii trip, she was like, oh my God, those leis that we got, they smelled so good. And these were things that they probably would not have ever thought to do for themselves, right? So that is what makes us amazing at what we do. We think about the full experience from the time they leave their house to go on this trip until the time they get back to their house. So that is really where your opportunity to wow them is, from the time they leave the house until they go. And even before they go, like what can you be doing before they go? All right, next page. So let me make sure I'm going to the next page. All right, so you guys see, is there a, let me make sure I'm on the next page. All right. Okay, so a cruise for a group and a private cocktail hour. Okay, all right. So that's good. So you absolutely can do that. Those are great value adds. So yes, and I would include that. And so here's the thing too. There are ways to mark up. Cruising is a little bit difficult to mark up because it's definitely not net, and the cruise line sends the information and the receipts directly to them depending on how you have it set up. But again, I want you to really be super clear about what your packages are going to include. And when it comes to you as a travel professional, what is it that you're providing your clients? Because that's what you should be explaining to them before you even book to them, right? That your value add that you bring to the table, not only in service, but also in offerings that they're not going to be able to get just anywhere. All right, so hopefully you guys can see that we're still in step one, and I'm moving a little bit slow, but define your offer. What are the benefits to your client? And so what I want you guys to really be thinking about when it comes to benefits, it's not really the benefits that we think, which are logistics, right? Oh, it's 5 nights and it's 5 nights and 6 days, right? Oh, and it's in a 5-star resort. I mean, those are great, but again, how is that different than what they can find online, right? What is the benefits that you as a travel professional bring to them, right? Some of the benefits that come to mind is in the event that there is a last minute cancellation, you're going to be there. Maybe there's a fee for that, but you're going to be there, right? Peace of mind, right? Why can't your people get out of town? You're the solution to help them get out of town, and that ultimately becomes a benefit for them, right? So I really want you to be thinking outside of the box about benefit. And I want you to also remember that money is not often the driving factor for your clients. So when you think, oh, well, I'm the cheapest, that's not necessarily why they're people do not purchase solely because of money. It is a factor, but it is not the only factor. And you can be more expensive than what they find and sell it if you have appealed emotionally to the benefits that they are looking for. But you have to first understand what they want, right? Understand what they want and speak in a language that will connect with them, right? So for this Hawaii trip that I'm telling you, this example for this Hawaii trip, so the price point was more, but we talked about, like, when I presented the trip to her, we talked about, the fact that her and her husband were going to have a private, because they weren't party animals. I discovered that. So they wanted privacy. They wanted sort of an intimate type of feel. So we talked about that in terms of the trip, intimacy and being able to reconnect. Those are the benefits. So the benefits that I created when I reviewed that fit trip with them was catered to the individual, because now if it's a group trip that I'm doing, it's catered to the group and the benefit statements are catered to the group that I'm working with. Hopefully that helps you guys on that one. All right. Then you got to know what your desired revenue is. So you've got these cruises, you know that you want to do, well, how much do you want to make per person? You need to understand that. And I don't care if you pull that out of your backside, you need to know it and you need to have it. And so when you design and when you talk to people, you know what that number is. Is it, I'm talking about net commission to you, right? So if you know that you want to make $300, $500, $600, whatever that number is, write it down. I want to type in the comments right now, how many of you know how much revenue per person you want to make on your trips? Type a 1 if you do know, type a 0 if you have no idea, like how much revenue you want to make, right? Let me know. I want to see how many of you guys already have an average ticket price that you are selling to. 0. Okay. Right. So what else? What else, you guys? 1, Constance. I'm glad to see that you're a 1. Robin. All right. Robin, you also should be a 1. That's awesome. All right. But we are getting some 0s. All right. And so that's one of the things that I teach my students as well is that you need to know what your revenue number is, right? And stop looking to be the cheapest provider or quoter to people, because people don't buy because of price alone, right? I'm not saying that you need to only sell $10,000 trips, but shit, if that's what you want to do, then you need to get in front of the people who want to spend $10,000 and want $10,000 experiences. But if you don't even know what your number is, how are you going to hit your revenue goals if you don't know what your number is? And then you design packages that don't even come close to your number. Don't get me wrong. I mean, my background is specifically, like, that has been my specialty, has been in the cruise line. I love a great cruise, right? But there's a certain price point. There's a certain cabin that I'm looking for, and there's a certain cabin that I'm selling because I know how much revenue I want to make on a per person basis. So I'm not selling cabin space that's less than that, right? I'm not designing group trips that are going to be less than what my average revenue price is. So my core offers, I understand what that revenue per person is, right? And so should you. And if you don't, that is what you also need to investigate as well. So that's what, so hopefully you guys are seeing the same thing. Because again, this is a really small screen for me. And then what does that translate into gross sales? Like, so if you know that you want to make $300 per person on a trip, well, how much revenue do you need to have in order to do that? Now, if you're splitting your commission with a travel agency, you're going to have to do a blended rate. I'm just going to tell you right now, if you've got, and let's say you've got an 80-20 split with a host agency, you get 80, they get 20, and you're getting 16%. After you split with your host agency, it's about 10% that you're getting, right? So you need to understand those numbers. And so don't come and be like, well, I'm not hitting my numbers. I got these packages and hell, you're the cheapest that comes around, and then people still aren't buying from you, right? You need to understand the numbers. So you need to understand, if you know what your total revenue is that you want to make, and I'm talking commission to you, inclusive of your service fees, hopefully you've got that all baked into your model, that you understand what your gross sales needs to be as well. All right. So that's what the next question is about. All right. Step 2, we're going to move it along because I'm going a little bit slow, is really about planning. This is all about who are the suppliers that you want to partner with. If you're with the host agency, many of you guys are, you've got access to hundreds of suppliers. Pick, I said, at maximum 3 suppliers that you want to try out, you want to work with. And again, if you're working with tour operators that have access to hundreds of suppliers, they're just like a mini host agency to give you access and bulk pricing based on that. You still want to be trying to get resort themed type of selection so that you're not picking resort A one time, resort B the next time, resort C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. Because again, you want to ensure that you are building a rapport with the resort. Now, if you don't know these resorts, this is your job. Like, this is what you do. You need to start to investigate these resorts and don't just be like, I'm in so many Facebook groups, so many agent Facebook groups, and don't get me wrong, I love the Facebook groups that give you the ideas and everything, but there's nothing like you personally experiencing a resort yourself. So if you have not traveled, then you need to get wheels up and you need to start to visit some of these things. You need to be attending their training so that you can learn as much as you can. But I'm going to tell you, I've taken a lot of training myself. There is nothing like actually experiencing a particular resort yourself. And so, Shantae, what I mean by a resort theme is I really should have said resort brand. Pick a brand. So so a brand, a Palace is a brand, AMR is a brand. So the hotels, if you don't know about hotels and you're new to this, my recommendation is to take Marriott training, because I think Marriott Hotel Excellence training is one of the best that really just sort of gives you an introduction on just the hotel industry and how they all work. So you've got land options and you've got cruises. Those are your 2 options in terms of accommodations. I mean, I guess you could do Airbnb and, that kind of model. But until you really are good at all of this, I would pick a brand, I would pick a brand. All right. So next one is like, what is the start and finish date? So the next several questions really are around your promotion cycle. It's like you need to sit down and really define out what promotion looks like for this particular package, right? So, or this particular offer that you want to do. I'm assuming that your offer is a package. It doesn't have to be. So whatever your offer is, how will you promote it? That's what the next series of questions are about, is when will you start the promotion cycle? When will it end? How will you communicate the promotion? Is it going to be emails? How will you market? Are you going to do ads? Are you going to do word of mouth? What is the process that you're going to do to communicate your offer? And then what are the major milestones? Like, are you going to do a price increase after a certain amount? Are you going to have an early bird release for your promotion, right? When are you cutting off and stopping taking early birds and the regular launch, right? You as a travel agent, you want to see the highest success start becoming a campaign-driven entity, meaning you are running your business based on campaigns. You're doing 4 major launches a year or 6, 7, 8. I don't care what that is. And there's a promotion cycle around each one of those. All right. And then I'm to page 2. Let me go. This is more difficult to present. I don't know that I'll present this way in the future. The next one is like, what are your events that are going to be in support of your planning, right? So your promotion, what kind of events are you going to do? Are you going to have information sessions? Are you going to have some sort of, I love live events where I come and I do like this live that I do. We treat this internally as an event. There is an entire communication cycle around the weekly lives that I do. What are you going to be doing? What kind of events will you have as a part of your promotion cycle? How will you deliver the offer? So somebody buys your offer. How do you deliver your service, or how do you deliver the package to them? How do you deliver? What is your fulfillment process, right? Do you send out welcome emails? Do you do reminders? What does all that look like? You need to plot all of that out, right? And then the very important thing is you need to start with the end in mind now. So how will you track performance? So let's say you want to sell cruises and you know that that's going to be your main moneymaker. You know that you want to do 4 group cruises. You're going to reserve group space 4 times a year, and that's going to be what you do. Well, how are you going to track performance, right? What are the key dates that you need to know, right? How are you going to track how you do, how how it's selling? how your promotions are doing. What are your key KPI stands for key performance indicator. How will you know that your promotion is doing well, or you need to ramp up or ramp down? Maybe you sold out too quickly, or maybe you're not selling as quickly as you need to, right? What is that going to be? And then the very last thing that a lot of people don't think about is testimonials. Is how will you collect testimonials, right? And how will you get feedback? So, what will be the way that you get feedback? And we are a feedback. It's not even the travel business. Any business in 2022 that does any online sort of presence needs to have testimonials and review. And if you don't have a process to collect those testimonials and get feedback, you're doing your business a disservice. So you need to have that defined. How will you do it? What will you do to get testimonials? Will you have incentives? Will you give incentives for referrals? That kind of thing. So we are at the top of the hour, and we still have 3 more steps. So what I'm going to do is make this a part 2. Let me pause and be like, are you guys finding value in this? How is this training going for you guys? Let me know in the comments. How are you guys enjoying this? Hold on, and remove this. There we go. Yes, you guys are enjoying it. Yeah, I think that we're doing good, and I would love to do the rest of it. But I know me, and I know how much I talk, so I will probably go on at least for another 30 minutes to get through the last 3 steps. So we'll do part 2 next week, and getting it all right. You guys are loving it. Very informative. That's awesome. I'm super excited to hear that. So we'll do part 2. We'll go over step 3 and step 4 next week. And listen, what I want to extend to you guys is there's a lot to creating an offer, marketing an offer. And, I have this offer called a power hour, which is a 90-minute session with me that will allow you to actually, if you already have your niche defined, you have an audience, and you know who you want to work with, but maybe you need some help on defining your offer and then putting together the cycle. A power hour session with me may be the right option. So if you're interested in scheduling some time, it's a 15-minute conversation with me to determine if a power hour would be. All you have to do is type core offer in this note. Myself or Jalen will get back to you. We'll schedule that quick 15-minute call. We'll take a look at what's going on with your business, and I will let you know if a power hour would be beneficial to you. You may, however, be like, I don't have any of this Sunday. I'm new to this business and I need it all, right? We do have a program. It's called Travel Passions to Profit. And if you need more than just a power hour and you need really guidance on how to establish your business foundations, just type business foundations and we will reach out to you and talk to you about the business foundations program as well. It's actually called Travel Passions to Profit. But if you need business foundation items, type business foundations. Jalen and I will get core offer. If you already have your clients, so let me be super clear about who core offer is for and a power hour is for, is you already have your business established. You already know who you work with. You're super clear about who your audience is, and you need help with getting this core offer defined. You need help with understanding just how to market your core offer, right? The power hour is a really great option for you. But if you're brand new, you don't have foundation, you don't have your business established, you don't have a niche, you don't know who your audience, all this stuff is Greek to you, type business foundations, and either way, we will get back to you. And so next week will be part 2 of your core offer using the planner. And this has been super fun. I haven't done a training like this in a long time where we actually have a document and we have something to help really jog your memory. So we will go over step 3 and 4 on next week's training. And ladies and gents, it was great meeting with you guys tonight, and I'll see you tomorrow. And have a great night. Talk to you soon. Bye.